factor in that Muzz most recently, with the Chapter 3 Season 2 top 10 finish, came in 8th place, I believe, although at the time he was playing with Avery. Not to mention his partner Looter, while he was competing in Oceania, he still nearly closed out a match point trigger with a 518-point finish there in Season 2 as well for Chapter 3.
And then, of course, Muzz being the only player actually to win an FNCS on multiple regions. He did it on OCE and NA East as well. But that's not to talk down on Larson and Smite. They do so well in these all-spawn situations. They come up with such unique strategies. Throwback to Season 1 of Chapter 3, where even the likes of Cold and Sensen were having trouble against them because of the strategies they were coming up with. So that's what I'm excited to look forward to today. What did they prepare for Muzz and Looter?
Caliber player is just absolutely insane. For just a moment, I do want to touch on that tilted tower situation. Why do we have 5 duos all landing in tilted towers?
But one of them is Fabs and Snacky. And one of my favorite parts about this is that throughout the entirety of Chapter 3, there were 36 finals games played, right? Fabs and Snacky only went 2 out of those 36 games without receiving any actual elims. So with 4 other duos there to contest at Tilted Towers, it's not just a prime opportunity for them to keep boosting that stat metric, but it also kind of indicates the fact that whether or not they're the ones walking away from Tilted Towers by the end of it all, they're taking somebody else with them.
So absolutely insane. Now, guess what? Another interview coming your way. Mini Miner, what you got?
I've got 2 incredible players right next to me. We've got Looter, we've got Smite, and oh boy, am I excited yet again, as always. Now, Looter, I'll kick things off with you. You've played on both OCE and NA East, right? How do the regions differ, and how are you going to use that experience today?
Well, there is a big difference, that's for sure. I definitely think OCE is obviously easier, and NA has a different skill set, but I made sure to come a month early so I could learn the lobbies as much as I could to do as good as I can over these next 2 days.
That's great to hear, man. Now, of course, Season 1, and in that season you were uncontested. How are you going to approach the challenge of being contested today?
Well, when you're uncon, you obviously have the advantage of leaving with fully stacked loot, and you could fully focus on Surge. But when you're fighting a team off spawn, you have that advantage of also leaving with Storm Surge right off the bat. So it's also an advantage at the same time.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
See what happens.
2 ways to look at it. Now, just quickly, we'll ask you guys, what do you think the score's going to be off spawn? The all-important question.
Okay, realistically, I want a 12-0, nice and clean, but I don't think that's going to happen. That's unrealistic. I think it's going to be more like 8-4, 9-3, something like that.
Okay, Smite, just quickly.
I'm thinking a full 12-0 right here.
12-0. They both think they're going to win off spawn. Unbelievable. Best of luck to you both, though.
Thank you so much, Mini Miner. My goodness. We've had a chance to hear from some of the players, talk about the game. I want to just take a quick moment here to introduce you to our casters for the event. It is Monster, D-Face, and Jacob PR.
That's right. Thank you so much, Zeke. We do have the pleasure, the honor of calling all the action this weekend. And my gosh, the energy is already starting to, you really feel it.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. And for myself, man, watching you cast the World Cup, now being here with you, this is a dream come true. And then getting to cast this global competition, insane.
Right, right. And that is what we have in store for us, of course, is an amazing competition. What a special moment, not only for the competitors, but all of you who get to tune in here and watch this return to an in-person event. It couldn't be better, and already you see the content, like the real interview pieces where we get to read the players, read the room.
Yep.
There's a lot of contested, there's a lot of fights that are going to play out.
Yeah, and like I'm saying, and it said it kind of before earlier today, speaking in the back, that these players, they're really good friends. They like to sit in the same Discord, they talk, they play Fortnite together all the time. But when that battle bus starts, Monster, they're no longer friends. They're looking at each other like they're the enemy.
Yeah, definitely. You see the Pink and a Nas battle, or Pink versus Clicks, you know, engagement that might be going down there as well. So that's us. We're going to be calling all types of action this weekend. Zeke, thanks for checking in with us.
Hey, thank you so much. My goodness, we are not that far from kicking off the competition. I just want to get your guys' kind of quick thoughts here as we prepare. What are expectations coming into just the first 6 games of the FNCS Invitational?
I straight up expect the crowd to be loud. We already heard when some of those interviewee names are called. The crowd was going crazy. When the action really starts to kick off, I want these players to fuel themselves with the energy from the crowd and really just take home a real solid, clean game number 1. But then also, you know, if it's not a good game number 1, use that in game number 2 as experience.
Exactly, and I think that this in-person event is a really important experience for a lot of the duos competing here today, but I'm super excited to see what happens with some of our international regions because we do have so many duos that are actually going uncontested, and one that immediately comes to mind, Luna and Peppa, for example. They've got all of Lustrous Lagoon to themselves, and with that much available loot and resources, I wouldn't be surprised if they're able to kind of kick it up higher in the leaderboards than what some people might be expecting.
That's right, and some of these duos, man, this is their first time in a setting like this, right, to have an amazing crowd like all of you here in person. So make sure you guys are just screaming your heads off. It is almost that time to start the show. So for now, let's go on over to Adam and Kelly.
Yes, Zeke, it is getting very close now. This is it. Audience, North Carolina, are you ready for this? I am so excited, Kelly. We're so close now to the beginning of FNCS Invitational.
And I cannot wait for what we are about to show everyone. But guys, we know what you're here for. You're here for the games. You're here for the players. So in just 5 seconds, I'm going to need your help for the countdown, everyone. All right? Join me. 10, 9, 10.
始まる？マジ？ 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! やばこの重点よ。でんでん。おお、やべえな。いいね。そっか、今から始まるのか。これからなんだ？いいね。
Hello there and welcome to FNCS Invitational 2022 live here in Raleigh, North Carolina. My name is Adam Savage.
And I am Kelly Link. We will be your hosts over the next 2 days. And in those 2 days, you guys will witness 12 incredible games of Fortnite. 50 of the best duos around the world, representing 7 regions, will not just be duking it out for the $1 million prize pool. They won't just be fighting for the pride and prestige. They're going to be fighting for that trophy right there.
Can we get an ooh? Very good. I'm getting goosebumps here, Kelly. We've set the scene here for you guys. We've had a chance to talk to the broadcast team. We've seen you guys in the audience looking amazing. But now, are you ready to meet the stars of this show? It's time to meet the players!
Epic will and read everyone. Domination is the key word here. With multiple FNCS championships under their belt, the Grand Royale win, the World Cup experience. This
待って、いや見てなかった。誰たち？うわ TSM。画質荒いな。いやマジアジアチームてか日本チームマジ応援する。 ちゃんと準備してんなみんな。ヨーロッパ、このヨーロッパの人なのか。
This is Rapid and Andalex, a duo forward specifically for this event. French powerhouse paired together with a Middle Eastern player. This one is going to be interesting.
Let's put your hands together for Basil and Jace, the champions of FNCS Chapter 3 Season 1 OCE. This is their moment to prove what they can do.
Stand up and get loud for Pink and Anaz from top-tier performances in several tournaments, including the latest third-party event. Now they are here in Raleigh to do it again.
これちゃんと全部見てないよな。誰が来るのかっていう。誰が選ばれてるのかっていうのを。うわお。ここら辺は知ってる。すげえコスプレしてるわ。
I cannot believe with just 10 players coming out, the Raleigh Convention Center are absolutely losing their minds. I hope you guys have enough in the tank until we got another 40 duos, so please don't pass out. That was just the first 10. What are thoughts?
We're stacked. We are stacked. I haven't even seen the rest of the. We're stacked. We're stacked, right? Snacky and Fabs being one of those dominant duos being showcased right there in one of our first 10 to present. Listen, they're on a hot streak right now, coming out of the NA West region, back-to-back FNCS wins in Season 1 and Season 2 of this chapter, followed by a third place as well.
But you can't forget about Pink and Anaz either. This European powerhouse, I think, is going to be absolutely one to keep an eye out for. And I'm really excited to see them clash out over in Fort Jonesy with Clicks and Dukes.
And of course, he's got the pink hair too, so he's easy
with Clicks and Dukes.
Easy to recognize. Now that was just the 10. Let's welcome the next 10.
Savage! Savage!
Norwegian teammate. This is not a drill, everyone. Let's go.
うわ、クリックス。いいね。この辺俺まだ知ってるわ。有名どころは知っとる。誰だろう、わかんない。NA と。わお、頼む、買ってくれ、ルナペポ。頼む。来た、ルナペポ来ましたよ。
Of Asia and NA East is going to be super exciting to see as this newly formed duo will take on the competition.
え、このアリスってあれ？あ、アリスも出たの？アリスも出てんのか？ちょっと待って、アリスも出てんの？アリス、アリス。
Put your hands together for Trulex and
Chicho,
Chicho, outstanding duo featuring a former trio FNCS champion. They're ready to prove their worth to the world of Fortnite.
Let's welcome Bailey and Alex.
Third, second, first
is how this duo has placed on the Oceania region, and now they must be absolutely ready for the big stage.
Give it up for Pablo Wingu and Swag. Now this is what you get when you mix raw talent with maturity and experience. This is a flaming hot duo.
Yeah. あれ、ザゴーさんたち出た？まだでしょ。
Right, ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing out there? I'm joined right now by Clicks and Dude, make some noise! Alright, Clicks, my friends, out here in front of a live audience, you've experienced World Cup before. How great is you back here in front of all these amazing people?
You know, after 2 years, it's finally a pleasure to, be at another LAN event, seeing the crowd, different atmosphere, so hopefully we do good.
Absolutely, and Duke as well, I gotta ask you, quite new to in-person events, but being here, this experience so far, being around the players, the audience, how are you feeling going into this?
I'm feeling great. It's like, the experience is insane. I'm loving it.
Yeah, absolutely loving it. Are you guys loving it too? Alright, Clicks and Duke, guys, and let's over to Kelly and see who she's with.
From one Savage to another, I am joined by Mr. Savage and iDrop here. Now, iDrop, I know that you guys are going to be contested on drop. Are you planning on fighting or splitting?
100% fighting. I've had it Uncon for 12 months on the best region, so we're definitely fighting.
I love it. Mr. Savage, I heard that it's your birthday today.
Yes, it is.
Everyone, on three, can we give Mr. Savage a big happy birthday? 1, 2, 3. Alright guys, good luck in game number 1 and let's head on to the next 10
そうなんや。
players.
いや、すごいな。まだだったやっぱり。
With the powerhouse performance in Chapter 3 Season 1, this consistent teammate he has picked up these last couple of chapters, they can take it all the way.
Let me give you Mixon and Ivo, a fairly new performing duo coming out strong together with a 7th place finish in the most recent EU FNCS. They could take it all the way.
And a big welcome to Pars and Rays with a great start to Chapter 3. These
この人 LA イーストなのか。この左の人めちゃくちゃ日本人っぽくね。そんなこともない。
Put your hands together for Belusi and Haijo. A lot of FNCS experience coming out of these guys, and that will be needed this weekend in order to take home the prize.
Take home the prize.
Vico and Marine, everyone, with a combination of a young
ヨーロッパ結構やっぱ選ばれてたね。
and an even more experienced player side by side. This can
そ
only
こら辺
go
は
well for this European
強豪ばっかりだからな。
Showcasing their skills last season of the NA West region with a 2nd place finish.
マジで日本人勝ってほしい。
to take home the glory.
Let's hear it for Watson Robov, a very talented, promising,
日本人勝ってくれ。日本人。
performing so solid lately. Can they keep it going?
俺が勝つよ。
俺が勝つよ。
One of the newer yet well-performing duos in this lobby. With his 6th place finish and his first FNCS, these guys came to take on a challenge.
俺が勝ったら無理や。
And a big welcome to NA East, Larson and Smite, a well-performing Chapter 3 duo. They are
来ないんだけど。
to compete on the big stage amongst the best of the best.
無理やって。
Put your hands together for Falconer and Hellfire, NA West OG, teaming up with an aggressive style European player. Now it's time to find out if it pays off.
Duos. You can already tell this is gonna be some of the craziest Fortnite we have possibly ever seen. 7 regions being represented on this stage right now. Clown and Refsguard, the first duo to walk out, though. I mean, some of the more notable players in EU.
They're definitely a fun duo to follow along with. Although it's only their third FNCS actually competing together, I think that it's interesting to note that they both, as individuals, respectively, had top 10 finishes in past FNCS finals. So they definitely have what it takes to place high up in the leaderboards. But what I want to see them do as a duo, more specifically, is kind of take that to the next level. You've made top 10 before, but let's see you actually win it all.
Whew, there you go, win it all. Tall task, especially seeing these 30 duos that have walked out already.
ガチ寝てんじゃん。
Right, man. Well,
バムさんはめちゃくちゃ寝てんな。
So, Raleigh, make some noise!
寝すぎでしょ、バムさん。おいおいおい。
リスニングの練習にちょうど良いな。
確かにね。日本人チームがなかなか来ないな。ザゴーさんたちまだ来てない。
入れろか。
嫌だ。
俺もそろそろ出るか。世界大会。
やばいだろ。でもお前だったら出れそうなのがちょっと怖いのが嫌だ。
数学オリンピックのな。
出てくれ、それは。ゴツ。ザゴーさんたちだ。来た。日本人チーム。ほっせー、日本人。
入れろか。
おい、うるさいぞ。
そんなブス映してないで俺入れろ。
おい、やめとけって本当に。俺は敵を作らない、周りに。
winning the NA West Chapter 3 Season 3 FNCS. We cannot count these guys out, and will they do it here as well?
Oh, 音楽がマジでかっこいい。
40 players down, 10 more to go here, but before we can get to that 10, I have a special interview with Swearin and
長いな。
今日の夜フォトナやろうぜ。
今日の夜は無理よ。
Like this is so cool. I mean, Raleigh showed up, Fortnite community showed up, players showed up. Like everyone's excited. I don't know. I'm hyped for this. Like it's so awesome.
I'm super hyped as well, and I know that you recently ran a tournament where it was just all goo guns. Obviously, thankfully, we're not going to be seeing any goo guns today. What do you hope to see?
Okay, real quick, I didn't run that. That was Beach Cobbler. I played in it, did really bad. I'm really excited to see people just like push for high ground and like just do like really exciting plays and stuff. I'm excited to see people like 1v2 and clutch up and then just like all those classic like Fortnite moments. I'm excited for it. It's gonna be so awesome.
なんか無理だって。ああ、夜ってこと？
はい。
なは無理。
Please welcome Focus and Spy with progression throughout each and every FNCS with a third place finish in the most recent Middle Eastern FNCS. These guys are ready to compete. It is Thomas HD and Tripper and folks. 2 words, dangerous and dominating as
These two are extremely experienced, and they must be ready to win this weekend here in North Carolina.
A huge welcome to Macwood and Kanata. Reunited has never felt so good. These guys are looking to pick up where they left off and take home the prize.
Let's hear it for Acorn and Edgy. Consistently great performances throughout their careers. They are here to continue that trend. NAE, show them some love.
Vortex, everyone, an incredible duo coming out hot with tons of experience and a few FNCS champions up to the belt, and they're looking to
右の子マジで後輩にそっくりなんだけど。
Let's give a big welcome to Commandment and Avery, your Chapter 3 Season 3 NAE
そっくりすぎてやばい。
winners with one of the closest end games we have ever seen in a finals. It's time.
A duo that needs no introduction. Tayson and Chapix combined 6 FNCS titles, countless Cash Cup wins, and now they're ready to take on the global competition.
Let's give it up for Moz and Looter, multi-regional FNCS winners, previous champions of OCE's FNCS as well. Listen, these guys have got it all.
And finally, let's hear it for
やっぱブーが参加してんのか。
Solo World Cup champion with his multiple FNCS winning duo partner. These guys are looking to cement
背
their
高そうやな。
legacy.
顔ちっちゃこいつ。顔ちっちゃ。ミスター。
King, go! Look at this
I don't
insane
know what
roster
the
of
secret
duos that will be
to
competing on the
success is,
FNCS
but I know the
Invitational
secret
stage.
to failure, and that is trying to please everyone.
Listen, 50 of the duos now set on stage, and one of them is standing out to me.
Right.
I know it's standing out to another part of the crowd right up there. King and Ed making a big name for himself at World Cup, of course, being the most aggressive player there. He stole the hearts of all the fans, and I'm hoping that he kind of redoes that performance here at the Invitational.
And his flexibility as a player, I think, is only going to pair so nicely.
サボネントしてこいよお前は。
This is their first time competing together for this
フォートナイトしませんかって言ってるよ。
I think that
して
it's
きたら。
awesome that he came in 5th at the solos for World Cup, but he also had a duos placement there as well. So it's a quick indicator that Brazil can definitely represent.
That's right. I just want to throw some stats at you guys at home. If maybe this hasn't quite set in, you don't understand how insane this is. 15 FNCSs, 105 FNCS events across 7 regions, 88 FNCS championship titles on that stage, 47 FNCS champions on that stage, 27 countries all represented on that stage. And guess what? We're ready to kick off the competition. Adam, let's do this.
Yes, indeed. Can we get a huge round of applause for Thomas HD and Tripan? Thomas, it's 10 top 10 FNCS finals for you. You must be feeling very confident coming into this competition.
Yeah, I'm really excited
No
to play.
cross,
It's
no
gonna be
crown.
a long time since like the last LAN event, and I can't wait to compete. Hopefully, a good placement.
Well, I'm sure it will be great. I mean, Tripan as well. This is your 3rd FNCS finals together. Is it 3rd time lucky for you, fellas?
Yeah, hope so. I'm excited to play, and yeah, I'm playing with Thomas, so can't go bad.
All right, give him a big round of applause, please, folks. Best of luck, fellas. But we also, whilst up here as well, must chat to the reigning NAE champions as well. Give it up for Commandment and Avery! Avery, my man. This is an incredible opportunity and experience. Obviously, playing in front of a live audience as well. How hyped are you guys as a duo right now?
Well, this is my first LAN. It's an honor, honestly, to be here.
ブレイキングダウンで
It's just unbelievable.
出たけ一人で。
You guys are unbelievable! We've also got as well, to talk about obviously last season's win. 1 point separated you guys from 1st and 2nd place, which is Booger and Miro. How are you going to try and retain that title this weekend? What do you have to do right?
We're just going to try to play our game, be
俺も応
consistent,
募した
and hopefully we can take it home.
Do you think they can take it home, folks?
出れないだろう。
Yeah? They seem confident. Thank you very much. Come on, Avery, back to you, Zeke.
Thank you so much. We are drawing ever closer to starting this competition, kicking off and jumping out of that battle bus. We have to highlight a few more duels for you. I want to start pretty easy here, right? Janice and Vidil. I mean, EU fans, you guys already know what these guys are capable of. And here's just a handful of stats. You know, these stats don't look that crazy vivid.
アリスさんやっぱ出てるわ。
アイドルオタクって何やねん。
マジで分からん。
Elite Finals EU Week 6, total point 310, 25 eliminated. That's just over the course of those 6 games, of course. And listen, if they're putting on a performance like that from game to game, I can't wait to see what they can do at the Invitational.
And it's so exciting to finally get a chance to see them on that international space because we are looking as well at the European FNCS champions from Chapter 3 Season 3. That's Giannis and Vidil. They are a dynamic duo. They don't want to mess around. Even at one of the intro videos that we saw, what was the first thing that Vidil said? You want to contest us? That's fine. Free points for us.
The confidence. Listen, I love the confidence out of everybody. Also, you know, shout out to Trippin, right? Because like his interview went, yeah, I'm playing with Thomas. We're going to do great. Like it literally can't go bad. That is a lot of trust in your duo right there. Love that.
Yeah, one big race to see now.
Vidil and Janice, they are currently uncontested at Greasy Grove. What does this mean for this duo? Having a POI uncontested that literally 6 other regions and even your own said, no, you can have that.
ペポルナ頑張ってほしい、本当に。いや、いけるよ。ペポルナマジ可能性ある。
Because you aren't contested +1, you aren't finding any of those early fights. So you have to go forcefully find some of these fights, and it can be very, very hard when the pressure's on, the nerves are kicking in, the audience is cheering on the stage. You know, you're thinking about it. Man, do I really want to go take that?
10位以内、10位以内。
That storm surge, so they have to be confident in those routes that they have set.
It's the audience aspect that I'm really curious to see how it impacts a lot of these duos, not just Giannis and Vidil, because it's one thing to play from the comfort of your home, it's another entirely to be in front of a live audience where when you got the cheers going behind you, you never know where that momentum might actually influence you to go next. I wouldn't be surprised for some of these players to really have to hone in on a lot of that mental discipline to not let themselves get distracted by any of the flashing lights or the noise. Just stick to what they know.
That's right. Let's talk about another duo, Clicks and Duke. We actually got to hear from them.
ペポルナマジ身長ちっちゃい。
I mean, the crowd's already going absolutely ham. Clicks fans, rise up. What can we expect from this duo?
Listen, I'm excited, right? Because Clicks has been improving from season to season, day to day as an IGL, teaming up with Duke, of course, who is very, very good mechanically. You know, I saw him in the practice room, always grinding the creative, always willing to take on pretty much anybody in that room who wanted to give a shot.
アリスさんたちもマジ可能性ある。
It's impressive how well Clicks has managed to simultaneously totter between this pro player aspect as well as the heavy side of content creation. I think that it is not very easy to maintain both of those lifestyles. And not only that, but when you have somebody as experienced as Duke right next to you, I can understand where the trust comes from this duo. And knowing that they're potentially at Fort Jonesy, I do believe we heard them mentioning, though, a possibility of just splitting at the start.
Well, listen, I love the fact that you mentioned content, right? Because, listen, you know, he's used to that. He wants the reactions. He posts that content to get reactions. And here, what other better place to get reactions than from a live crowd? So maybe he'll just straight up embrace it, and it'll fuel him.
Snacky.
That's right. I have to highlight this duo, man. Your FNCS Asian champions who are competing on this stage. There they are, Zach and Meram. Remember, these are FNCS champions. They literally just won the FNCS that passed. And now we will see them compete. When we look at the stats, man, I'm pretty worried for everybody else.
Listen, we were just talking about, you know, Vidil and Janice, who coming into this event are a lot of people's favorites, right? But right there, they had 310 points in one of those Elite Cups. Right there, I saw them have 344. There's a little bit of competition going on there. And as you can see from the camera shot, I love it. The preparation, they literally have printed out sheets of spots on the map, things that can help them out through this competition, anything to give them the edge.
And from the moment that we saw just how much energy they were actually bringing with them on their initial walkout, to the point of them sitting down here now, their faces do not indicate any sort of nervousness. They could very well be a big part of the bamboozlement device here with the international flavor.
I mean, they're up against Kamaman and Avery, right? I feel like this could go really well for one of these duels. It could be really messy. I mean, what do you think, Vivid?
つくこませは出てないん？
出てないね。
Ultimately, Kamaman and Avery are going to be comfortable over there, right? They FNCS from this POI, and of course, you know, Zygu is landing on the outskirts of that. So I don't even know if they're going to take any of those early fights. But again, as the game develops, if they start to struggle on Storm Surge in the later parts of the game, they might want to start taking that early fight.
But there is usually enough space surrounding Rave Cave for duos to not necessarily have to
Maji
lock
kayo.
those early leads if they don't want to. And you also have to keep in mind that they're not the only ones that are going to be landing there. There's also going to be Thomas HD and Tripper. That is a notorious favorite spot for them to go, is that south side of the Rave Cave. So curious to see where exactly these zones wind up actually taking these players and how their encounter might actually shape up.
Right, there is a duo here that is quite terrifying. You know, fans of them are up here in the audience. It's King and Ed. I mean, if you, the crazy thing is, King is one of the most winningest player. I mean, the crowd's already going crazy. There it is. One of the most winningest, one of the single-handed craziest mechanical players you will ever see in your life. But when you pair it up with just stopping power, which he also has by himself, he is a one-man army.
Yeah. Listen, of course, King representing FaZe, and shout out and congratulations to Ed. Recently, just days before the event, signing the Team Liquid. Amazing opportunity there. As you can see him drip out in the jersey, showing it off here at the Invitational. And what I love most about this is that, you know, again, we're here in person, right? So we can go into the practice room, we can kind of see what's going on. King and Ed, 2 matches almost day and night, in and out. And listen, they were dominating players from every single region.
But the sheer presence that you have as an international player, and I'm speaking about King here, because the fact that he actually has audience members with signs of his name at an NA-based venue, that alone speaks volumes for the kind of impact that he has had on the Fortnite scene.
These guys are uncontested. We already know what this means for everybody else. It means they're going to get a free pass into the mid-game. If they are allowed this opportunity, what the heck is everybody else going to look to do to try and stop them?
Nothing. 12 games of pure aggression from King, and that's what it means. Just straight up, nothing else.
And also, just a really quick note there about Ed. He has been steadily improving with each of his performances throughout the entirety of Chapter 3. So if the momentum kind of keeps going in that direction, again, I don't think that international gameplay is going to disappoint by any means. These guys are amped up, they are ready to showcase their representation in the regions.
That's right. We want to come on over back to NA. We got to talk about Fabs and Snacky, an iconic duo, to say the least.
That's pretty good.
アリスさんが可能性あるよな。ペポルナが一番可能性ある。
From Tilted Towers, I can tell you right now,
I
watch some of the League Up games. They do not like the League of Tilted Towers without at least trying to find a fight. And I think that's going to play into the part, right? Some of the other players laying at Tilted Towers might not be expecting it. You know, maybe they came into this like, we're going to split it. No, I'm pretty sure they're going to be aggressive.
And we've already touched on a little bit with this duo earlier today, but they are, in fact, certified point getters. Because on top of that stat that I gave you guys earlier, we're out of 36 FNCS Finals games for Chapter 3. They only went 2 without elims. Well, guess what else? They didn't go a single game in Chapter 3 FNCS Finals without scoring points of any capacity throughout every single round. That is insane.
Just a stat line, right? I mean, this stage is going to, like, it's legitimately some of the best players from all representing 7 regions from all around the world. It's absolutely ridiculous. I wanted to really quickly touch on both you guys who come from competitive player backgrounds. You know what this feels like to be on a stage like this, to be in front of a crowd like this. What are some of these players feeling right now?
Listen, some of them, they're looking locked in, right? They're looking like focused. They're not even thinking about the crowd. They don't even see the crowd beyond the monitors right now, which is really, really good for some of them. But I'm telling you, you know, some of them are probably just really good at hiding the nerves, because being at these events is a different atmosphere. We talk about it time and time again. It is not the same as playing in your room. At all. You will have all these lights. Maybe the desk is a little bit of a height difference. It's how well you're going to. I remember as a player myself feeling a little bit uncomfortable on the stage, not because of the crowd, not because of the lights, but simply because of, you know, slight changes in how I was used to sitting.
It's just not your home setup, and that's going to be naturally difficult for any player to overcome, no matter how much in-person or LAN experience they might actually have. But one thing that I always find a little bit fun talking to some of the players even yesterday and in the player lounge,
俺はペポルナがどこまで通用するかマジで
これで負けたらラッキーカス
it adds that extra little safety net of just, hey, I feel more like I'm at my in-home environment.
Yeah, 100%. And this is all like, I know it sounds like, oh, take your shoes off. That's like a joke right now. This is legitimately, man. Like, when a player is comfortable, they will perform better. It's proven. Why don't we hang out with, we got with Tokata, Mini Minor. Are you guys in the player area?
We are indeed, Zeke. Now, some of these players might have their shoes off, but we've got our thinking hats
on about this day today at Takata.
I mean, we've got 2 days of Fortnite action. I'm excited. We're going to be breaking it down tomorrow and today, of course. But how excited are you?
Look, I'm incredibly excited. Right? There's so many storylines that have yet to be built, right? We have Malibuka and Merstash going against European GOATs, Titans, right? Tayson and Chapix down in the cloudy condos. And even with the third duo there, Aqua Reason, with a possible third party, I'm excited to see that engagement. We even have Mr. Savage being contested up north, closer to Logjam. And then down at the Synapse Station, Joe and Ziandi, which are no longer contested because now Baka and On1 have moved up north to Mr. Savage and his duo's drop spot. I mean, there's a lot of action to unfold. Mini, I'm excited.
I'm super excited as well. Things can change, of course. You know, we know how these drops are maybe going to form. We see some people moving around and changing up their idea of how they're going to play this. So be on the lookout for some changes. Be on the lookout for some of these players and teams that are thinking, actually, you know what? Let's switch things up. Let's go for plan B, plan C, plan D, plan Z, maybe. Who knows?
That's what I love about Fortnite, right? You never know what's actually going to happen, right? We might be able to see the drop map, see what these duos have planned ahead of time. Great game one, and then they have to change things up. Maybe even after halftime, right? 3 games down, you're like, okay, we're not doing too good. We got to change something up. But I'm excited to see who's going to be able to show that they've been practicing. They have been in the player lounge going against each other, even in creative, you know, doing 1v1s, 2v2s. And I mean, there's so much to see. I really just can't wait.
So much to see, so much to do. And I can feel the energy in the arena right now. But Zeke, please take it away.
Bro, I'm right there with you, man. I just cannot wait to see all of the action unfold before our very eyes. We're almost there. Just a couple little things before we start the battle bus on its journey. I wanted to highlight another duo, Cammy and Seti, right? For you longtime EU fans as well, you know these guys recently just won a DreamHack. They've literally came in 1st and 2nd place in a solos competition. They were the best 2 players at the tournament.
You know, and the thing that I love about Cammy and Seti is that individually they kind of remind me of myself, right? That really slow, methodical gameplay style. They're not going to go for anything too flashy, anything too risky. They're just going to play their game out and play that top 10, top 5 consistent every single game because they are laying at that mid-map spot uncontested.
Yeah, the infamous Cammy split, as
she
everybody
is from imagination.
Yeah, basically come to know exactly. But I am curious to see how their surge management actually unfolds throughout the entirety of Chapter 3. I don't think they really had too many issues with it, but it is important to note that for this duo specifically, they don't really like fighting early. And well, fortunately, having an uncontested drop spot can definitely feed into that. So naturally, you want to wonder where their points are going to come from or where their surge management is going to come from. And I think that that is something that they're largely just going to have to control throughout their mid-game.
Yeah, they also have to be very, very careful with laning there. There are a lot of teams laning around them. Especially, you know, we think about Tilted Towers to the left of kind of where they're landing. And then also center map, you know, Cold and Sentinel are expected to be contested there at that loot lake kind of area. So if any of those teams kind of want to disengage from some of those early spawn fight situations, they could easily run over to the split that Cammy and Seti are looking to take and maybe gather up some loot themselves, which could force a fight. And that's really disadvantageous for Cammy and Seti because they're going to be split at these split chops, so they're usually off on their own.
And I think what you're getting at is adaptability, right? These duels being able to moment to moment say, we had a game plan, we did not find the chest, we did not find the thing, we got tagged, someone has pushed on our like location, we need to change up something. What does that look like, man, right? Like, if this was EU FNCS, I'm like, oh yeah, no problem, I got all the notes for you, but it's NA East, it's NA West, it's Asia, BR, OCE, you know, there's so many other regions that you have to kind of be accounting for. And not only their own meta, it's that duo, right? Like, oh, I know they're from BR and they do this. Oh, great.
I mean, listen, you're bringing up a great point there, right? Like, how? You don't have many notes on a lot of these teams because they're just around for the entire world, right? And that's why international events are held at such a high praise because they're just straight up hard. The competition from all around the world, it's harder to play against people that you don't normally play against.
And the competitive lobby metas that you'll often see break out throughout the course of each of these 12 games in this weekend, I think that that is going to be a really crucial aspect for some of these teams. In cramming VOD review leading up to today, we know that they're going to be doing plenty more of it after these 6 games. But as far as Cammy and Seti are concerned, just touching back on them, I like the fact you brought up the early game engagements because honestly, they're their all-time record, by the way, first 3 zones, they have a less than 5% of elim scoring throughout those first 3 zones. So they don't like the early game engagements.
That is absolutely crazy indeed. You know, a duo I feel like could be a dark horse in the competition that I really want to see.
いつ始まるのかな、マッチ。
It's Acorn and Edgy.
遅いな。
あ、間違えた宮城だった。
合ってる合ってる。
So many times paired up with Acorn. Look, we know this duo is absolutely incredible. They are some of the toppest caliber duo that NA has to offer.
Yeah.
But Edgy hasn't been able to grasp that #1 spot. And what I feel like for me to come out of this event and say, I'll walk away with the trophy, baby, that'd be pretty sweet.
Look at Edgy waving. What's up,
そうじゃなくて俺が行くのが。
Edgy loves it, man. You know, we're laughing at him getting, second place 4 times. He himself, last about it. Look at, I wonder where he's landed. He has the picture himself there. We've seen it a couple times now. Tilted Towers, and look, they were being real.
さんは全く起きていません。
俺東京じゃないよ。
If they were uncontested, they'd probably run away with this event. We'll have to see what happens. I still think it's possible. I think it's a little bit less likely.
マジ東京行くの楽しみなんだけど。
Yesterday, last night, even until later night, 10, 11 o'clock, he was still VOD reviewing all the way up until then. So I'd love to see the practice coming out of this duo.
But it's the fact that there's 5 duos at Tilted Towers, and literally none of them are willing to budge from this spawn. They all want their piece of the pie here at Tilted Towers, and whether or not this engagement could end up being worthwhile for the duo that even walks away, because when you think about it, Vivid, there might have to be a ton of resources expended.
Yeah, we cannot forget. Here they are, Queasy Vino. We talked about them at the beginning of the show, and like a circle, we find ourselves back at the beginning.
これ全員分流れるのかな。
What more could we possibly say about this duo? They've basically been winning everything as of late. Queasy is looking in absolute top form. Vino has been crushing it. He's ready to go.
You want to know something? So I used to be a professional player. Now I'm an analyst, right? Both are very heavy when it comes to the VOD reviews. I pretty much have just done it for the past 5 years. Very intense. I love it. It's awesome. I have never watched a VOD review and been like, wow, I am impressed on the individual level. Because I've been at the top before, right? You know what I mean? I've seen pretty much everything that these players can do.
You're still first in our hearts, Vivid.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Vino, I VOD reviewed him for this event. It's an international event. I'm typically on the NAE side of things, but let me dabble in EU so that way I'm prepared for this event. I'm watching Vino. Individually, like I said, I've never been impressed. I was impressed. He seems so clean. Every single action that he does, it seems like it has a purpose, and I genuinely have never seen that out of an individual player.
There's a reason why he's often regarded as one of the best fraggers in Fortnite.
修学旅行の時だから。
And not only that, but he's got a perfect
修学旅
IGL to
行
match
が
that.
12月の
Notorious for being an absolute genius
最初だった気がする。
for his IGL, and I think
だから
something that I
4
love
泊
about
5日だっ
Queasy
た
is
気がするけど。
that his stats also speak for themselves, because you don't go the past 7 seasons getting a victory royale dating all the way back to Chapter 2 or Chapter 2 Season 6 without being a consistent IGLer. He just knows how to stay cool, calm, and collected in every single competitive environment.
And I love the fact that you're bringing up the IGLing aspect, right? A lot of these dudes are going to be making a lot of calls. Queasy, what he is known for is this very clean, high ground pace. It just always seems so methodical and flawless whenever he does it. So the pairing is very, very well. But then that's not even like one of the most exciting parts is they always seem to find those mid-game dead side rotations that work out so well that keep them alive into the end game very consistently.
And it's kind of like having a silver bullet, right? You have Vino there ready to go. If you're Queasy, you're just thinking, okay, I need to go accomplish this goal. I'm going to point my silver bullet in the direction. There's an enemy over there I don't like. Vino, why don't you just go 1v2 them for us, and then bring their loot and ammo back and builds, and then I'm going to be up on high ground, okay? I'll see you in 30 seconds. So that's not a joke.
I'm laughing because, 1v2s, right? They seem impossible, especially on the international stage. But no, like, literally, Vino, he just does it so often, and I cannot wait to get to the game.
That's right. Guess what? Ladies and gentlemen, Fortnite fans, we're ready. The battle bus is all ready. The players are on board. So let's do this. It's game number 1. Here we go. It is time. Is one just big moment away from really kicking it off. All that preparation, we're going to have to put it into it. The battle bus is ready. Let's go, Jacob.
It is time. Game number 1 of the FNCS Invitational starts right now. 27 different countries are represented.
始まります。さあ、 ワンマッチ目。
And just look at the concentration on the players' faces as they start to populate onto this world.
今のマップってこんな感じなんや。
勝者予想します。スナッキー勝つ。
さっきからずっと言っとる。
Yeah, and already looking at the drop path. One of the biggest ones is going to be over towards Rave Cave, where you have Commandment and Avery, the most recent NA East FNCS champions. They're a little contested. Not going to be a hot fight right out of the gates against Thomas, HD, and Triprin, because right now they're just getting that early game done and ready.
That's right. And it is going to be so important for everyone who is contested to take and walk in the path of caution. You cannot allow yourself to make any risk. Up at Chrome Jam Junction, we already know there's several players on top of each other. Tilted Towers, remember, 5 duos contesting this area, some of which are the most notable. Bad Sniper, Noah Riley, Acorn, Edgy, Babs, and Snacky. Just
タワーがあんの今。
今日じゃなくて。
Let me tell you, but see, Snacky over on the side. You're talking about Bad Sniper as well, but one of our hottest drops with EU's biggest names, Cloudy, Kondo, Feet haven't even touched the ground yet, but it does look like it's going to be Malibuka and Merstash on the ground first.
修学旅行の時。
なんでだよ。絶対嫌だよ。
One of the most respected set of duos right here. If they really cut loose, they make.
誰が降りてんだろうな。
You're gonna see Aqua playing for that big high ground play, and look at how they are respecting the area. Everyone making sure they are solidifying their foundation right before they really decide to make a fight.
Yeah, but look at Malibuka's loot already. A green prime, a blue Evo Chrome.
宮崎県の学校で自由時間あるの？
He's probably waiting for Merstash to probably give him the go ahead, but another interregional battle over towards Grim Gables.
Now what's crazy about this, I got to sit down with Muzz and Looter. They are feeling exceptionally confident in beating Larson and Smite, but you have to put yourself into this kind of position right now. There's pressure all around you. To me, it's looking like Larson and Smite have the advantage right now. Just take a look at the focus right here, right? This little bit of high ground, they have them almost trapped down below.
Yeah, and the thing is, right now, Larson is a little bit separated from Smite. That is a little bit towards the low ground. You know as well as I do, all it takes is 1 second of separation.
身長180センチの深海魚でしょ。
近って。 Another contested drop, but you can see this is only game number 1. Nobody wants to put it all on the line just yet, but I might have spoke too soon. Larson was taking down a ton of damage on the Muzz. Looter trying to back him up, and it looks like they got the first elimination of FNCS.
Down goes Larson, and the quick finish for Looter. OCE gets to claim the first on the show today. Smite now left with the pressure of the world on his shoulders. Can he escape these OCE players? It doesn't look very possible. We all know.
俺身長170センチのカエル。
甘辛。
Yeah, Smite right now, he has to figure out a way to just really stay alive, and it looks like Muzz and Looter, they're trying to decide right now, Monster, do you continue to try to fight against Smite as he's looking to try to get that reboot card onto Larson as the third-party shots are beginning to come in from the distance, and that's the thing, you know as well as I do, any drop that's contested, and you have that early game fight, and especially it builds just like this, there are so many teams that are look at you to get their surge.
Now in the past, Smite has been known to walk away with at least 1 elim in every single major game. This time might actually break his streak that he's been on, but Muzz and Looter, take a look at the respect here to play cautious, take your time, and not overcommit even in the 2v1. That's the respect, but let's get to the real battle. Cloudy Kondo, Tayson, Chapix taking on this big duo toe-to-toe. It's Merstash and Malibuka, who have a 73%, 78% win ratio when contested. The odds are not looking good. The third party in the distance, Aqua's up on high ground. They're positioning.
Yeah, Breeze on A and Aqua, they have that high ground, just put damage onto 2 different players. They're like eating at a buffet right now when it comes to Storm Surge, but in the feed, Mr. Savage is down on one in Baka from NA West. They're trying to take control of that POI, but all 3 teams are here, but you gotta keep notice, while all the action is going down between Malibuka and Merstash, you see Aqua and Reason just trying to keep their distance.
Crazy how they fight back. They are not just allowing this team to third party them. Reason gets super hurt there, and it looks like the battles in the distance get to conclude. But here and now this fight rages on.
1+1+2+3+4+5+8+9+10+11+12+13+14+15+16+17+18+19+20+21+22+23+24+25+26+27+28+29+30+31+32+33+34+35+36+37+38+39+40+41+42+43+44+45+46+47+48+49+50+51+52+53+54+55+56+57+58+59+60+61+62+63+64+35+36+37+38+39+40+41+42+43+44+45+46+47+48+49+50+51+52w43+44+45+46+47+48+49+50+51+52w43+44+45+46+47+48+49+50+51+52w43+44+45+46+47+48+49+50+51+52w43+44+45+46+47+48+49+50+51+52w43+44+45+46+47+48+49+50+51+52w43+44+45+46+47+48+49+50+51+52w43+44+45+46+47+48+49+50+51+52w43+44+45+46+47+48+49+50+51+52w43+44+45+46+47+48+49+50+51+52w43+44+45+46+47+48+49+50+51+52w43+44+45+46+47+48+49+50+51
Yeah, it does look like the NA West, Baka and On1 have solidified Chrome Jam Junction to themselves. Down goes Mr. Savage, down goes iDrop. NA West, make some noise.
That's right, and now for Jace in Basel, another team that was contested in the early kind of situation, but it seems like they've won themselves some space. They're vibing out. Look at the Storm Surge tags here as they start to fight back. They're out on the outer edges here. What a great especially with the zone right on top of them. They have so much going for them now that they don't have to worry about that. Whoa, a big On1 gets back. That's the replay there. I love that we got to catch that.
And you can see the strategy coming out from On1 and Bak. They switched up their drop spots this weekend. It's not like they've been practicing there all season long. They're just adapting on the fly. As you see Booga, Mira, we already talked about that uncontested drop spot of Chonkers Speedway. The zone is kind of above them, and they're one of those teams that just waste no time trying to figure out what that game plan is. They're going to try to get to the zone and then worry about Surge when all those other teams that are south and east of them have to go past them.
And the Middle Eastern, one of the few representatives of the Middle East community here, and Andalex, what a monumental task to step up here and for the first time ever compete with a duo. So we love to see what we have going on here. So much representation of all of our spaces. You know what I saw, which was in the feed as well? Japan versus Brazil. Looks like Peppo found one. Happening everywhere. Jump over Vino. Vino and Queasy. Some of the best at Shiny Sound.
Yep, you see them just going for their own Surge. This is going to be one of the wildest lobbies we've ever seen. If you're down on Surge at any point in the game, you're forced to play catch up to all these elite teams who know exactly how to handle their own Surge if they are above. But one of the big teams, one of the favorites to possibly take competition overall, Janice and Vidil. Greasy Grove, uncontested, and everybody knows what they can do uncontested.
Janice is the only European player to have ever picked up an FNCS in solos, trios, and 3 different game modes. Such a decorated team that we have together. That's our German powerhouses. As we jump over to Anas and Pink. What a team right now. Remember, they were contesting in Duke. Down at the Joneses, it seems like things might have slowed down for them. They've been a bit more passive. There's a single Elim though, right inside there too, so that's a pickup.
Yeah, and for a lot of these teams today, this is just game number 1. The nerves right now, they're just feeling each other out, trying to figure out how everybody's playing, and then they're going to adapt as soon as this one gets at least towards the mid game, probably towards the end game. It's going to get super exciting very, very quick. As Merstash, Malibuca, that fight done and over with. They know it's about the resource, about matting up and setting yourself up for later on.
And I love that you say that because what they have that the other teams don't, tons of accessibility to the metal. You see how their metal resources really starting to cap out there. They're going to give up the drop. They say, hey, enough is enough. We've, kind of gotten our hands dirty. Let's go and move out. And you notice that they also managed to take home the metal as well. Everything else, man, you can find it on your way out, right? Back is that metal. This is a team, they'll bounce back.
Yeah, and it's also one of the first materials that you use when really trying to defend yourself. As Zagu and Miriam just kind of looting up the Greasy Grove, whatever Janice and Vidil left behind. And there's actually a lot of the teams that landed a little bit north that are trying to rotate towards this slower side of zone. And right now, everybody are just stuck in zone because nobody wants to bite off more than they can chew.
This is our current reigning champions of the Japanese region, representing for Japan of the Asia region here. Now we jump over to Ed and King, one of the most explosive duos. We talked about Ed's history, how much he's really risen to the challenge, improving season after season. Now paired up with King, they have such a fun history here. They have engaged against one another multiple times in FNCS in seasons past. Now they get to play together.
Yeah, kind of rotating all the way from north, Chrome Jam Junction. They find themselves a sweet spot. But a team that has so much experience together, but years ago, now reuniting for the Invitational, Macwood and Kanata. And let me tell you, in some of those practice games, Monster, that uncontested drop spot that Kanata and Macwood have proven to be fruitful. They got first place in scrims, and now they're here to try to replicate that on the biggest stage.
Only 2 duos have fallen. And now another steps into the position here to possibly take a fight. Bevies and Vortex are they're going to land right behind Chappie. They find Takes it out by himself. A great shot here, and now he steps up. But smarter to go ahead and defensively poise up here. No need to get too in.
Yeah, not just yet, at least. You can't really get too busy too early. There's so many players that right now you see 95 left alive. When Storm Surge actually activates, this is probably going to be one of the most scariest things I've seen in Fortnite in quite a while.
That is true, and Bevys and Vortex are really considering peeking out. Now, one thing we spoke about with the professional players is that one thing you don't do is open those big boxes and peek for too long. If there's
ジャンプとかあんの今。
you can do it
ジャンプみたいなマークあんだけ
in
ど。
the early game kind of situation while you have some time. But while we have some time, let's just go ahead and catch up with Minimine.
Not quite there, Tokata, but close enough. I got you, Monster. We're going to be taking a look at North Shiny Sounds, where we have a fan-favorite duo, Queasy and Vino. I find it interesting how they were playing split up here. Queasy was on the low ground, taking shots from opposing duos. Vino, up above on the balloon, was able to get free tags on the opposing duos that were looking at Queasy, and having this split mentality in the drop spot is crucial for getting those free tags and able to set yourself up for that late game.
An amazing breakdown there, Jacob.
Yeah, one thing that I didn't really mention it. Did you see the 8 splashes on him? Yeah. These guys are ready for that end game. If you have that much heals, that's going to allow you, if you are down on Surge, to kind of handle it. Fabs and Snacky, FNCS champions from NA West, hurting on Storm Surge right now, trying to get themselves back up. But it does look like the fight, maybe the dust have settled, and this is the aftermath. As you see, yeah, Fabs does have one elimination, 36 above the damage threshold. Even though right now they have a little bit of comfortability, that threat is still looming in the back of their minds.
That's right, and they rolled up, they took down a team there, and now they get to go ahead and reap the rewards. They needed those tags, but that's not going to be enough. There's a little bit more in front of them. A team that's well below the Surge right now, our full Middle Eastern duo, Spy and Focus, are sitting here, and it's not looking too hot. 220 damage below. I had so much time to catch up with Spy. He is an incredible, and I mean incredible, player, but this is one of those decisions that you have to make now.
Noah Riley.
Fight. There's no easy one. Now we have EU versus NA West. Noah Riley.
This one is going to get close because we already talked about he loves to fight. Epic Will loves to fight as well.
ノラに負けたから世界大会諦めるわ。
Where to pick his battles in every single one of these situations. So he's probably talking to him right now. Get the pre-edit ready, but he's 137 below. This is why they're not abandoning the fight. They have damage to do.
Epic Whale and Reed have around a 70+% win ratio when taking on these early game fights in these early zones. It's looking very good for them, but the Surge, no one can beat the Surge.
お、ペッポ倒してる。さすが、素晴らしい。
So this is why this fight's so important. Down comes the Chug heal.
ペッポキルしてるわ。
Nice. Meanwhile, in the distance, Threats and Alice are starting to put shots in. So this is not a fight that's not, being interfered with. Reed's gonna fall first. Epic by himself. Shots come in. Noah Riley wastes no time. They pounce in, and they're hunting now. Reed's on the run. Shots from the side. Who will steal away this elimination here? Someone has to get in there. It is. They close things up and finish it off quickly, and just like that, EU comes out on top.
Oh my god, but the action is just all over. Basil, Chase, they're out as well. That's Pink and Anas who pick up 2 more. And I even saw moments ago that Booga went down. The elimination feed is just lighting up. Pars and Rays go down as well. This one is getting active very fast, but that's because of the Storm Surge. But this is something I feel like all of us preface just a little bit. Handling that Storm Surge is going to be so important throughout these 12 games.
Kanata and Macwood take down Booga and Miro in the
お
field.
お、ザゴが倒してんだけど TSM
Asia's champions are finding some too, but KBR and Z representing for Brazil are here, and they
人気なのかなこの人たち
they're just 8 above. Well played for them to go ahead and find
めちゃくちゃ関西上がってる
but let's get on over to that fight that is inevitably
わお
going to
テイソンたち
continue. Tayson versus Chapix.
And this is exactly what happens when you split it, though. They split that drop spot. They weren't able to get the early damage. Down
wow.
Tayson under pressure. HP getting dropped, and there he goes. Back to the lobby. But Janice do it again.
From teammates to enemies, Janice takes down Tayson in the zone. Just like that, it is over. Now, we jump on over to On1 and
わお、ザゴさんたちめっちゃキルしてんじゃん
One of the few
One party
for NA West this weekend right here. Talk to me about how they managed to surge over Mr. Savage and eye drop, and now they're picking it up.
Just honestly talking to them before
日本チーム移してくれ。
and when they finally made that decision to switch up their drop spot, they had a choice. Do you contest Hen and Vortex? Do you contest Joe and Z Andy? They said no. They want to take one of the biggest stages in Europe. They want to go against Mr. Savage and eye drop, and already it's proving to be fruitful. On one coming from Mexico. This guy is a legend from NA West, and honestly, it's been just a few seasons and he's already making a name for himself.
That's right, and way to do it on the international stage now when it matters. Now we jump on over to Chicho and Trulix here. What a great spot to be in. My God, finding beautiful tags here, holding the team out on the side. Meanwhile, Vadil and they have finally made it outside the storm line. Tough spot to be in. You have a lot of water here. Very little land terrain to work with.
アンチで60人は多いな。でも
starting to happen. Meanwhile, on the other side,
今思ったら
the NA East best, Edgy and Acorn. Now what's cool about this duo
動きは悪くないなこいつら。
お前誰やねん。どっから上から目線すぎるだろさすがに。
That is how much experience he's picked up in the past from practicing against the best of the best lot.
And already, if you look at their loot right now, that
うわーめっちゃヘッド買ってる。うわーかわいそう。うわーかわいそう。あーかわいそう。いやどんまやなこれは。アリス倒してるアリス。
What a quick way to finish that one off. And there's a problem here. We have Bakken on one sitting on the walls. If NA East champions are most recent of Avery and Command.
俺は解説代表やで。
A lot of damage here. They were just below the surge quite a bit ago, and more damage is starting to come in.
動き悪くないなお前。解説でもなんでもなくて上から褒めてるだけなんよそれ。えすごくない日本チームまだ落ちてない。
above those traded shots. Actually, I wish Onwoo and Baka would have just stayed in the box because honestly, if they would have just waited a little bit longer, Storm Surge would have had these guys almost down and out, and they could have easily cleaned those up. But right, they're just playing safe. They just want to go ahead and make it towards their end game because this is one of the teams. They finished second in the last FNCS of NA West. They know how to fight with the best of them.
This is what it's all about. We show up for big moments like this. Can you step up to the plate? We are just moments away from the game becoming extremely difficult. The zone is only getting tighter and tighter. And take a look at how many players have huge pressure weapon and endless now. And they have decent above them. Macwin and Kanata start to look down as well. They're off to a hot start. That is one of the teams to look out for. Meanwhile, a single Eagle already eclipsed on the other side. So they've survived the draw. A huge shot clicks. Finds a one. They're on the finish too. Clicks and Duke. Managed to get two more eliminations.
現地盛り上がりすげえな。
He said it himself. He has that World Cup experience teamed with an FNCS champion.
まだダゴーさんたち死んでないよね。ああ、アリスたちは。これか？これじゃないよな。あ、これだわ。これだアリスさんたち。
Alice and Threats. They're communicating with a translator between them. NA East and Japan playing with each other. Hold up. Vadil, Janice, this is a problem. One of our favorites. When you look online, you look at Twitter, you look at what everyone is putting together for a top 10 list. You expect this team to do so well in game one and already broken apart.
Yeah, Janice was down inside of the storm. Vadil really couldn't go and save him. He has no HP really to regain. Merce Dash and Malabuka, another one of those teams towards Cloudy Condos who are nobody really fought it off spawn. They got some tags and left. 31 below. The pressure is on. But they can't necessarily travel to zone because they have to worry about Storm Surge. That's actually doing a ton of damage.
31 below. Not looking good, Jacob. Tags are coming.
Yeah.
Clock is ticking. They do have heals. They can survive for a little bit more, but you hear the shots raging everywhere as the lobby turns online.
Nice.
Vadil fires back. He catches Macwood in the feed. That must have been incredible, and that's happening right above us. Meanwhile, turning the storm around. Vadil is known as one of the greatest box fighters. Literally made his name known for taking on fights and destroying players across Europe. Let's take a look at that one more time.
Yep, you see Vadil just kind of peeking through the cone.
Wow.
Macwood off guard. And honestly, it looked like Macwood
was trying to do the
same to him, peeking through that cone. You better watch where you peek. Aseti and Cammy, another favorite to probably take the top spot here in this event. 306 above the damage threshold. They're still continuing to put that pressure on the lobby. That's exactly what you got to do when you make it to endgame, especially if you're a team that doesn't fight off spawn.
Becoming legends, Cammy and Seti.
まだ生きてるよね。
They have
今ペ
material,
ポ。
they have heals. This just might
マジ頑張ってほしい日本チーム。
Well, let's jump on over to Seat. KBR. How's it going here? 132. They have Z-Andy and Joe have been on the other side of the wall. It's going to be a tough one. 23 duos remaining here. The surge is still active. And now as the timer hits 0 and the zone reveals itself, we're going to start entering into the first moving zone territory. These next 25 seconds are going to be some of the toughest they have ever had to deal with. Remember, for some on this stage, this is their first LAN, an in-person event that they have ever experienced here, and they get to play it out now.
And this is where you talked about some of the players that had rotation. It is going to be so important. You see where the zone pulls. There's different elevations that these players are going to have to traverse through. If you don't have any sort of rotation, you're going to have to figure out how to recycle it. Otherwise, you're going to be in a nightmare.
そうだよ。俺は頑張ってほしいもん。
意欲。
ウェイ。あったな、コンバットショットガンみたいな昔。それのあれか。
He has a launch pad as well. He can easily try to find his way through, but there's so many players stacked all around him. They don't want to make it easy.
Damage
threshold. He's not only looking for the perfect rotation, he's looking for some players to put some shots on. But a high ground goes over to Peppo.
Whoa!
Peppo
on height now too. This is big. That's something you did not expect. But Vino and Queezy are now looking up to take the side and go for it. They land on top of Asia. And it's all or nothing now. Vino fights for it. The wall gets edited. It's not quite his. It's a battle on all fronts here. Can they win it off? Vino and Queezy have managed to fight back for high ground in the first game of the FNCS Invitation.
Yep, and there goes Assault of the feed. Vadil and Janice, their run came to an end. Vico picking up and Mustache. Two different players.
アリスきつそう。
118 below the damage threshold. He knows he cannot stay in one place too long. Trying to reunite with Threats, but he goes down as well.
Yeah.
Really eating these guys alive. Alice has to do something, but the options are so thin.
そうアリス。ナイス。オーマイガー。うますぎ。うますぎる。冷静。オーマイガー。
Meanwhile, Seti and Cammy playing their game. Pamsu and Fatch still alive as well. High ground has Queezy and Vino. Logren has
ザコさんもまだ来てんだけど。全然ある、全然ある、全然ある。マジである。マジである。頑張れ。わおわおわお。あ、生きてる。全然生きてるやん、ペッパース。あー、ルナだ。あー、ペッパー死んだ。11時ぐらいか。わお。上は。無人に敵殺してんだ。普通に。撃ってるだけでいいもんな、上。
悪くないだろう。
何が？ザコさんたちうますぎ。うますぎ、この人たち。うますぎ。うますぎる。マジでうまい。
Duos alive, 11 players total left in this game. One of them being Seti and Cammy towards the high ground.
何キルしてんの本当にあの人たち。
Don't play too many early game fights. They wait for this end game and for every opportunity. But Acorn, he's trying to sneak some extra points. He has the Medmiss sitting in the zone. Vino doing the same, but he's almost out of opportunity.
This is absolutely what you expect of the best players in the world coming together for this invitational here to have this opportunity to step up to the plate, represent for your region. This is what it's all about. Vino by himself just working his way, routing his way through the build. Acorn is as well.
ハイグラがでもまだ体力ある。
I'm not gonna allow you to just sit there and focus me. Trulex is meanwhile in the low, looking for something to do here, turning builds into Chrome. Remember, he can slip through any one of these now.
頭よ開けれないようにあれを張るっていう頭いいな。すげえ。うわあとちょっとやん。誰だ。ああ頑張ってマジで頑張ってくれ。さあゴーマジである。
そりゃ俺は頭良いよ。
うわうわきつえああさすがにか。ああこれ上の勝ちだな。おおアンチが耐久しようとしてる。ワンチャンじゃね。え全然ある。え回復持ってない。回復持ってない。ああでもさすがに素晴らしい。ヨーロッパの人たちから多分分からんけど。面白い世界大会。
Some of the hardest workers we have ever seen enter into the ecosystem, becoming legends. Seti and Cammy must be absolutely proud. Acorn and Edgy, they were just incredible. Wait for Acorn to truly step up to the table there and clutch this one out. And he said it, put me in the best lobbies, I will put up the numbers.
Yeah, and for him, that's a little bit of a success, even though he didn't get the victory royale. Staying alive as long as he did, getting extra eliminations, and getting that top placement, that is just insane. But let's go ahead and to an interview with the winners.
スナッキーなんていたいたっけな。
Game 1 winners, give it up for Cammy and Seti! I must ask, what, Dzień dobry, first and foremost. Obviously, Game 1 winners, how was that being out there and winning in front of this amazing crowd?
It's amazing. I love the atmosphere here.
この人たちだな。
nice having a crowd again.
この人たち。
And also, obviously,
この人たちだ。
reigns supreme. Once you had the high ground
ス
there,
ナッキー勝ってなくね。
だから見聞色の発揮はもう失敗ってことで。
Like, we knew that high team doesn't have much, so we just took it.
You took it. Going into the next game, much of the same. Do you have to constantly change strategy, or did it feel good playing against the rest of the world?
It feels good. It feels pretty easy. I'm not like denying the competition, but
2試合目だったかも。
here and yeah, we're
2
just
試合目
very
か。
confident into game 2. Still have to be consistent to the end of the tournament, then that's it.
Excellent stuff. Once more time, guys, give it up. Your game 1 winners, Cammy and Seti! Good stuff. Let's have
いやー強かったなこの人たち。
Thank you guys so much. Game number 1 is taken by EU. This is going to be a tough one for everybody else. EU, let's represent, baby! Cammy and Seti, though, come out huge in game number 1. What's crazy
1試合目はセッティだと思ってた。
we watched Queasy and Vino go for height in 6th moving, right? But it's not them who end in height. It's Cammy and Seti.
It's crazy, big development there. I can't believe Cammy and Seti are the ones that actually end up on the high ground. I love the fact that you mentioned that there were a little bit of flip-flopping going on the high ground. Somehow Cammy and Seti, probably the least likely to, in my opinion, to find themselves up there, do so well played coming from them. And also, not to mention, this end clip right here doesn't even tell the full story.
いやマジでうまかったなミリムさんたち。
早2試合目行けや。
Just 2 separate solos, and they make easy work of them.
It was right around the start of Zone 8 that we saw Cammy just sweep Queasy completely off guard there on the flank. Didn't seem as though Queasy was fully steady who actually successfully walked away with it, and they just had so many builds. That vertical play
テカリプレイですがキー視点見せて
8th and 9th zone, there was just nothing anyone else could do about it.
And the thing that I love, right, is we
見れんのかな今
we're like, who's going to be nervous, who's going to be confident.
試してみて。
やってみるか。これの準決勝これ多分終わってるから入れないんじゃない？これないもん。見れないわ。ペポたち10位だ。おお、3位。強っ、日本チーム。ちょっと待って。スイッチって見れなかったっけ？これだ。これだ。頼むよ。ツイッチで配信つけれるか見たいんだけど。ツイッチ。これか？ダウンロード入ってるわ。残り3分。次の試合からツイッチ移動すっか。次の試合からツイッチ移動しよう。そうしよう。まだいいや。さあ、電話していきたいと思います。出るんでしょうか。
But that's not what they needed, right? They just needed to place high.
Yeah, of course. You know, Acorn, you can hear it out of Edgy right there. Best player in the world. Love that confidence coming out of the teammate. But again, you know, one of those solo clutches that we kind of saw was from Cool and Yume. I think it was Cool specifically getting into that endgame, securing that third place position. And we could saw at one point in time, he was like in that 1v2 situation in that box fight, and he comes out on top and just transitions that all the way towards that third place position.
You don't become FNCS champions without having this kind of collective measure when it comes to your mental discipline inside these block fights. fights, and not
メガ配信しよっかな。
they also had 7 elims to boot to close this one out. So not only they're placing high, but they're also making sure to capitalize on those elims as well.
いやマジうまかったな、ザゴーさんたち。ミリムさんがめっちゃうまかった。
This is a very competitive lobby, and I think, if anything, Game 1 is only amped me up even more to see what these players are going to do.
結局何ポイントだったの？
Individual performances coming out, and that's what matters so much on these stages. You know, we saw last season on the NA East region, Commandment is the one that won it with his solo clutch. Every single solo performance matters tenfold.
That's right. I want to take a look at our standings once again. Again, don't freak out. This is just game number 1. This is our feeler game, right? From here, we make adjustments and we make the changes we need to succeed. Cammy and Seti, they did win game number 1. But with only 6 eliminations, they're currently sitting at the 44 points. As we kind of start to go top to bottom, we did watch Queasy and Vino. They did try and take height, but I'm curious as to like what kind of happened.
2つも
How did that all unfold? The
上がってきてんだけど。
good,
い
but
るんだけど。
something went wrong.
面白すぎる。
We knew this was coming, right? We knew Queasy and Vino were going
トップ
for the
10 に
high
アジア
ground,
チー
and
ム
they
が
had
2
it
つも
going
入っ
into
てる。
that first moving
すごい。
zone, and then all of a sudden we were checking it out. You know, Runa and Pepper are all of a sudden on the higher ground, and Queasy and Vino are like, all right, fine, we'll give it up. And then like 5 seconds later, I look back up, and Queasy and Vino are back on height. So, you know, they had the strategies there. Ultimately, Cammy and Seti just found the best of them, though.
That's right. Really quickly, let's go on over to our friends Kelly and Adam, who are standing by on the stage.
Thank you very much.
余韻に浸ってるわ。
All right, we're looking good. Game 1 is done, and Game 2 is imminent.
However, we need your help, everyone, because our battle bus is out of gas and we power it with hype. So in the count of 3, I'm going to need you to get as loud as you can possibly get.
発音ってこと？
1,
アジアで。
2, 3.
Let us hear! Come on!
Get louder! We keep going!
Keep going!
It's almost
as loud as you can! Come on! Keep going! Fantastic! You look beautiful out there! It's time for game number 2.
来た。
Now that's how you kick off a battle bus, Jacob. Whoa, the crowd is really coming together for that one.
Yep, and Acorn clutching it up by himself as a solo.
これ映す暇ないな。 2試合目もこのまま見るか。
So much representation from all of the players showing up in that last game there. NA West, NA East, Asia, EU, of course. You saw what they were able to do there. And again, that is what makes this all worth it. That is why we tune in for these moments.
Yeah, but that was just game number 1. I'm pretty sure with game number 2 right around the corner, the nerves are beginning to settle. The players have figured out how the lobby is going to be. And one of the things I've noticed after that first game, everybody is stingy with Storm Surge damage.
That's right, but listen, the show must go on. Let's just go ahead and keep things rolling.
Thank you guys so much. We're trying to get our players back on that battle bus so we can start game number 2. Now that we have a moment here to just breathe, the biggest thing I think on a lot of these players' mind, as you even saw some of them talk about in their interviews, Storm Surge. This is something that a lot of these players, they try to overcome, and now they have to double adapt. Not just adapt to their own meta and the way they're used to playing Storm Surge, but how other duos ahead of them, next to them, behind them, maybe doing the same thing.
Every single time in Fortnite that we have like a set lobby over the course of X amount of games, game 1 is always the most stacked. And we saw it right there. It was like the flip of a coin. All of a sudden the lobby, the amount of players left alive just crashed instantly because so many of them needed to fight for it. But one thing that I did see in that early game right there, a lot of balloons, a lot of the players poisoning themselves all the way up there in the sky, then using those hammer assault rifles primarily to get tags in the early game. And then anybody that wasn't really doing that, unfortunately, just had to force a fight later on in the game. Like, for example, we saw Epic Whale and Reek go down because of one of those fights.
Look, it might have been Cammy and Seti that actually closed out the lobby, but it was Muzz and Looter who got the action going for us because we did see a decent amount of hesitation. It's kind of expected, I think. Game number 1 here at the FNCS Invitational. Nobody wants to be the first one out, but unfortunately for Smite and Larson, that was the case because Looter and Muzz actually winning out the immediate trade. And this is one of the POIs that we touched on at the start because we knew that Grim Gables was going to be popping. We knew that Muzz and Looter have the experience to tango with the other regions.
You want to know something? This is what I love because, you know, we're talking about how some of these all-spawn situations are down. And, you know, I was talking to some of the other analysts, and Taco included, and Muzz and Looter was like, you know, I think this might actually, you know, play into their favor being contested all-spawn because, you know, Looter himself said NA East has been way harder than OCE. He thinks there's a lot more talent over here, and then Storm Surge was one of the things that he was most worried about. So the fact that they ended up being contested, and that game is a great example. They get that early damage done, those early eliminations, and they're set for the rest of the game. They don't even have to worry about their biggest worry coming into the Invitational.
Another duo that had a tough time getting going, Mr. Savage. It took a fight that maybe didn't quite go the way it was anticipating. Let's take a look at some of the replays and kind of talk about what we're seeing.
That one was
これ変える時間あるか？あるな。変えます。スイッチに変えます。スイッチに。